Hey, what's going on, everyone? Demetrius Mack here, back with another episode of Real Talk. For those of you who are not familiar with this series, or if it's the first time you're watching one of these videos, let me take a quick second to explain to you all what this series is about. This series is one of my more serious series where I take things a little more serious, and I pretty much talk about things that are going on in my life, going on in YouTube, just overall general serious topics that I like to sit down every once in a while and address with you guys. Thing number two that I want to address with you all is the fact that this is back-to-back weeks. I did in fact release a video about YouTube and how the ads were being pulled from YouTube last week, and there was an episode of Real Talk released last week. And these are normally not released back-to-back weeks, which brings me to thing number three. This week was scheduled for me to release a mixtape or montage on my channel. However, I gotta admit to you guys, with school starting for me today, I was completely unprepared, and it's on me for not being prepared to get you guys that video out in the video that was scheduled to be out. And instead, I didn't want to leave you guys with absolutely nothing. So something that's been on my mind, and actually something that has been on my mind for quite some time, and YouTube actually just recently addressed it, is the thing that I want to talk to you guys about today. And that brings me to thing number four, which is what this video is going to be about. And that is basically what you guys pretty much read in the title. Where do you guys see, or what do you guys think is going to be of YouTube in the upcoming years? We could be talking 2, 5, 10 years. What is YouTube? What is the direction that they're headed in? And in my mind, there are three possible scenarios here, folks. In my mind, we've got three possible scenarios. And I'm going to go over all three of them, and then I'm going to explain why I think those scenarios could each play out, depending on what happens. So let's go over scenario number one. Scenario number one, folks, is the path that we have unfortunately been headed on right now. And I know you guys, don't worry, I'm not gonna turn into one of those channels that just complains and moans about everything going on in YouTube and going on in the world. This is not what this is about. This is just about me really taking this subject seriously. And like I said, I was unprepared with my other material, which I do apologize for, and I decided to not leave you guys with nothing and go ahead forward with this. But scenario number one is the path that we have been headed on for quite some time now. Whether it's been with YouTube Heroes, the YouTube bug glitch, or just all these problems, and now these companies pulling the ads from their stuff. And now there's a new thing that emerged about 3 days ago, and I will link to you guys again, as I did last week, to the Business Insider, which is where I got my info from last week. When I posted for you guys, they again released an article about 3 days ago about how YouTube is no longer going to allow content creators to monetize their videos until their channel has a lifetime span of over 10,000 views. 10,000 views or up. And I'm going to show you a bit of that article right about now. And I'm going to show you guys this. And it states here that at the top, you can obviously see that this was released on April the 6th, 2017 at 3:28 p.m. And the title here, you guys can see, YouTube will no longer let you make money off of its platform unless your channel reaches 10,000 lifetime views. And then it goes on to continues to say, a bit down in the paragraph here, it says YouTube says this is designed to help discourage scam artists and content creators that violate YouTube's policy for making money on the platform, the company said in a blog post. So let's talk about what that means. Let's talk about the good thing about that. The good thing is, yes, they're right. It should help discourage scam artists and stuff making money, uploading other people's stuff, uploading movies, uploading clips from TV shows and monetizing those videos and getting money off that. Yes, that should stop a lot of people from still doing that. The problem is, if a video goes viral and they're still doing this stuff, you know, if they get like a video that all of a sudden gets 100,000 views, stuff like that, they're still gonna be able to, in a sense, right now, able to monetize that video. I'm not 100% sure. I believe that they're going to be able to still monetize the video, but I think what the idea here is is to let YouTube know that this is all that they're uploading, and maybe draw attention to those channels so they can point those channels out and they can get rid of those channels. I'm assuming that that's what they're going for here with this thing. The other thing that may or may not work is the fact that people can still find a way around it. I myself have passed 10,000 views, if you can believe it or not. But so I am technically able to actually monetize my videos with this new law, if you want to call it, this new YouTube law that they've instated. Because I have promoted some of my videos that have gotten pretty big on Google AdWords and the AdWords Sense, basically where it allows you to promote, where everybody goes to promote their videos on YouTube and Google and yada yada yada, stuff like that. So I'm fine, and that goes for saying it doesn't mean that anybody else won't be fine. It doesn't go to say that anybody else can't do what I did and just pretty much get on and get 10,000 views that way. However, that would mean them spending their own money, as I did for me to get promoted some of my videos. However, if they're willing to, it's not that expensive to do so, to be honest. It's not that expensive to do so. And I think if they're willing to spend a couple bucks just to get up to 10,000 and then, upload their stolen content or whatever type of content that's, really not theirs or whatever to help them make some money, I think some people might be able to take the risk in doing so. So, in a sense, it just looks like, and now to get into my point, to really what I want to talk about, it just honestly looks to me that this company, that YouTube, honestly is looking for another way to just save money. And it's looking like they're cutting down, advertisers are still pulling their stuff, and things are not looking up. And the way this is headed right now, if it continues this way and YouTube does nothing on, and this is completely hypothetical now, folks, so don't, come at me and start thinking that, I think YouTube is done, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, based on how things have been going for this platform, with their projection, if you guys didn't, watch my video from last week, their projection to lose over 750 million this year. There's nothing to saying right now, because they haven't fixed any of the issues, that won't continue in the years come. So where does that leave us? Unfortunately, it looks like that's going to leave us in a YouTube-less world. It looks like this could actually be a problem, if not addressed and fixed in some form or manner. It could absolutely be the end of YouTube, which I definitely don't want to see. But that is definitely a possibility of where this platform, what's going to happen to this platform in the next 2, 5, 10 years. A lot needs to be done in order to prevent this, and a lot needs to be done in order to make sure that that it happens. As a matter of fact, folks, a lot needs to be made sure that this happens, and that means basically YouTube just sitting on their ass and not really doing anything about this. So, the YouTube partnership program was made available, I think, 5 years ago, and that was a really big step, and nobody really saw it coming. And look how far we've come in 5 years. You got to remember, it's just as easy to fall behind in another 5 years, maybe even quicker than that. So that's definitely a possibility. Is YouTube, and I think as early as 2-3 years, could unfortunately be non-existent. It's just a reality that some of these content creators, I'm sure, are preparing for, and they've known from the start that YouTube is not a stable job. They've known from the start that it's not a stable job, and it's not something that a lot of people are going to rely on as a long-term, 20-30 year career. So that is definitely one of the possibilities that can happen. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the other two. The other two are pretty much straightforward, and I'm already almost at the 10-minute mark here. So, but the other two is YouTube fixes their stuff, and we live happily. The other situation, another one of the situations, YouTube fixes their stuff. They get it together. They start listening. They start actually listening to the community and the content creators and everybody who makes this big, massive platform work. And we get to start, and we get to sit in a circle and sing Kumbaya off into the sunset, and everything goes pretty much back into to the start of this thing, when this YouTube partnership program really started, and it was really popping. But now You know, there's a lot of doubts, and there's a lot of people leaving, and a lot of people saying they're not earning nowhere near as much, and it's gonna be tough. But that is definitely I don't know what it's gonna take to make that happen. But it's not my job, and it's not your job. It's not your job either. There's only certain things that we can do to help, like, you know, supporting the YouTubers that we watch. There's only a few things that we can do, and one of them is just, you know, continue to do what you're doing, watching videos and helping out in that way. The last thing is we stay in this love-hate relationship with YouTube. We stay, and what I mean by that is the last scenario in my mind is we stay back and forth with problems, going on problems. These advertisers pulling their advertisements from the from the platform, back and forth. Then another problem comes in. All these problems that we've been seeing these last few years basically repeat themselves over and over again, and it goes on for God knows how long. That's the third scenario that I see. That nothing gets done, but it's too big of a platform because nobody else comes to step up to the plate, and it's just, you know, it's a revolving door of love and hate, and oh, you shouldn't be doing this, and oh, okay, we're gonna fix this, and then you really don't, and then they don't really fix this, and something like that. And you know what, guys, and the fourth scenario, I just came up with a fourth scenario here, folks. Somebody else steps up to the batting plate and decides to finally give YouTube some actual competition. And honestly, at this point in time, some entrepreneur, some innovator, this would be the perfect time for you to step up, to be honest. Because right now, in the middle of this YouTube crisis, if another platform were to emerge that was, you know, similar to YouTube, where, you know, a bunch of these content creators could move to, a bunch of these advertisers could move to, hey, now is your time. You know, now is the best time you're probably gonna get. So that is another fourth scenario. And yeah, that's it. Those are my scenarios where I think, you know, YouTube is headed within this next decade, honestly. And yeah, that's all this really is to say about it. I don't want to go too much on. I'm almost at 13 minutes here. And I thank you for sticking around and listening to me ramble that long. But I mean, hey, folks, this is important to me. I've expressed that to you guys before, and I know it's important to you guys out there, and I know it's important to the content creators and to everybody who loves this platform. So let's get something done, and let's get something moving forward so we can actually move past all this nonsense. I absolutely want the second scenario that I mentioned, that we all get this figured out and we just, you know, forget this nonsense ever happened. But it's going to take a lot of work. So that's it for this video, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys think which scenario that I mentioned do you think is the most possible that's going to happen within the next few years? When do you think these scenarios could possibly play out? Within the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Hey, I'll even let you go beyond that, because you know what, you can go as far as on, hey, you know, here's what I think YouTube's going to be in the next 20, 30 years. Now I think it'd be easier to make an estimate within, you know, a decade, of course, 2, 5, 10 years, something like that. But hey, go for it. Just let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to know what you guys think. And as always, folks, thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, this is your first video, and you think I deserve another subscriber, make sure you hit that subscription button. It'll help me out a lot. And thank you, folks. And I will see you all in the next video. This series normally premieres once per month, but you guys get a special, and you got 2 in 1 month. That doesn't mean next month's is canceled. It just means that I need to have my scheduling better. And again, I apologize for not having my mixtape montage, which is what I was normally scheduled. But I'm glad I was able to get this off my chest. I'm glad I was able to express this to you folks in this way. So until next time, folks, I'm Demetrius Mack, and I'm out. Peace.